I am here with something new that I'm trying out. Let me know what you think of it. It is called Astro Chat, and I want to do this once a month. I was doing like weekly astrology videos, and I just found it like a lot, and not everybody was kind of into it. So I want to kind of see what you think of this. What I'm going to do is do a monthly sort of overview of sort of the bigger things going on for the month, the major themes of the month for you, so you kind of get an idea of what sort of energies are ahead that you might be, sort of encountering this particular month. So I'm going to be doing for the month of May, and let me know what you think of it. As well, you can follow me on Twitter. I do like a daily astro tweet with like a funny little GIF most days, just letting you know kind of what's going on astrologically if you want to check that out over there. And as well, if you're interested, we do have a Facebook group as well that's open to everybody. I have a Facebook group for my Patreon, but there's another one called the Rock and Roll Witches, which you can join. Links are below. It's open to everybody. There's just 3 questions to make sure like it's not just some random person that joins like groups without really knowing why. I figure I'd join them, I guess. But you can totally join us there and we talk about like tarot and astrology and all sorts of stuff. So you can totally join us. I would love to see you there. So check it out. But let's get going with the astrology. I've made my notes in my little whale and balloon book, and let's get started with what's going on. So we started this month with Beltane. Beltane occurs. That's Beltane the date. Beltane if you're in the north, Samhain if you're in the south, with the moon in Taurus, the sun in Taurus, moon in Pisces. So definitely a very dreamy type of energy. It's a great time for making some concrete goals long-term towards the dreams that you have, especially when it comes to things like your health, beauty, art, gardening, anything Taurus-like in there. If you're looking at celebrating on the astrological Beltane, though, or Samhain if you're in the south, that's when the sun reaches 15 degrees of Taurus, and that's going to be on May 5th, which coincides with the new moon. And that's kind of the first thing that we have really going on this month. We have a new moon at 14 degrees of Taurus. So this particular new moon is a really great time to make some creative and artistic goals. Also, if you're looking at developing, your psychic abilities, your intuitive abilities, this is a really good day to do that, to set some intentions in this area. New moons are always a great time for new beginnings because the sun and moon are lined up with each other. So it's like our conscious and subconscious energies are together, they're lined up, they're in sync with each other. This particular new moon has the sun in a sextile with Neptune. So it brings like a lot more sensitivity, a lot more empathy. It also brings like a lot more intuitive energy to things. So that's why it's a really good time to set some intuitive intentions. We do have Mars making an opposition with Jupiter on that day. So there's like a lot of like strength and courage. Like we want to take action towards things. We feel lucky. We feel optimistic. We feel energetic. We feel like we can take things on. The only danger with it is we might bite off more than we can chew and promise too much and think we can do too much. So set goals, but maybe like don't be overly ambitious, or maybe cut them in half. Say, it's great if I get to this, but here's my actual goal. So don't overextend yourself. The Sabian symbol for this is a man bears himself in a storm. So it really is about, sort of that strength, that ability to get through difficulty, that ability to pursue, that ability to be able to push oneself forward for this particular new moon. The next thing we have is Mercury moving into the sign of Taurus on Monday, May the 6th. So Mercury's been had a pretty quick trip through Aries, and now he's going into the sign of Taurus. So when Mercury's in Aries, we tend to be a little more sharp-tongued. We tend to be a little more assertive with our words. Mercury rules communication. We tend to be a little bit more restless. When it's in Taurus, we have here resistance. We're a little more careful with our words. We're a little more cautious with the way that we speak to others. We're more likely to slow down and actually listen to people. So it's good in that way. Like, it's a good time to just listen, to be still, to take things in, to think about it first and really mull it over. The only thing is sometimes we're resistant to new ideas and we're like, no, we're kind of stubborn, like, oh, I don't want to hear that. This is the way that I've always done it. So I would say that's the only thing, like, to be aware of with that particular energy. We then have Venus moving into the sign of Taurus as well on Wednesday, May 15th. And we have Mars changing signs that day too. But first, let's talk about Taurus. Venus is very happy in the sign of Taurus. Venus rules Taurus. So when she's in Aries, which she will be until May 15th, she's kind of like more assertive and a little more aggressive when it comes to romance and sexuality. She tends to be a little more edgy in the way she expresses herself. So we might be like a little more edgy on the fashion side, all that kind of stuff, right? She's not like the happiest in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, and it's kind of like a little bit of an opposite energy for her. But when she's in Taurus, she's very happy. So Venus in Aries, the card here says lust, so like fiery, lusty, sexual energy. And when it's in Taurus, it's about romance. So we have romance here. She's a lot happier in this particular energy. So when it shifts, you might be feeling more romantic, more sensual. You don't want to just like get straight to bed. You kind of want to light candles and have a romantic dinner. And it's all about enjoying the sensual side of life. So it's all about enjoying good food and good wine and, beautiful clothes and enjoying nature and slowing down the pace of romance. It's not so like rush. So it's a very good energy. Like, Venus is very happy in that particular sign. Now, at the same time, we have Mars on Wednesday, May 15th, moving into the sign of Cancer. Mars has been in Gemini, so Mars again is about our sense of desire, will, aggression, competition. And in Gemini, he's very communicative, so he really communicates those kind of things. He's very, very interested in, like, we might be sort of driven to find knowledge, to ask questions, to learn more things. He's not so happy in the sign of Cancer because Cancer is a water sign and it doesn't really, it's not super compatible with him. So for example, Mars in Gemini in this particular deck is shown as decisions. So it's the ability to make some decisive decisions and be decisive with our words. But when it's in Cancer, it says quarrel. Or quarrel, however you want to pronounce it. And that's because when Mars goes into Cancer, he gets kind of passive aggressive. He's not so direct with his words. He's not so direct about what he wants. He's more likely to take, sort of go to the emotional level with things. So people may not be as direct about what it is that they want. They may go about things in sort of more of a backhanded manner. They might be more passive aggressive with people. They might be more moody in their emotions. So it does tend to be a bit of a more difficult energy. So I encourage you, if in the latter half of May, you're feeling kind of like moody in a particular area or a little out of sorts or feeling like, I'm not really sure why I feel upset about this, but I am, is to really step back and examine it a little bit. Cancer energy tends to withdraw a little bit before it takes action. It needs to step at things sideways like a crab and withdraw a bit. Sometimes, we need to withdraw. So don't react. If you don't have that knee-jerk reaction to things, sort of step back and think like, why am I really feeling this way and what do I really need to do about it before you move forward with things. Let's see, what else we have after that. We do have a full moon on Saturday, May 18th. It's at 27 degrees of Scorpio. Now, when we have a full moon, the sun and the moon are exactly opposite each other. So the full moon challenges us to combine alternate energies. It challenges us to, bring some things together, to bring two opposites together. So Taurus energy is very slow moving. It's very practical. It's very day to day. It's very much grounded in the physical. And Scorpio is about deeper spiritual and emotional issues. So this particular one is asking us to take a look at power in our life. It's asking us to take a look at some of the power structures that are going on. It's asking us to have some deeper conversations about the structures we have with how we're managing our time, or maybe the way that we're arranging things like money or household duties or whatever. So it's really about power structures for this particular full moon. We do have Mercury making a trine with Pluto on this day. So there's really opportunities for us to talk about things, to talk about some deeper issues that maybe have been going on. We also have Venus making a conjunction with Uranus that day. So this is a day where people may surprise you. They may surprise you by getting a new look, like cutting their hair off, or dyeing it a crazy color, or getting a new wardrobe. Or it also is a time where people may surprise you about relationships. People may hook up with someone surprising. You might meet someone exciting and surprising. So it's really a full moon of sort of like surprises in sort of the Venus area. So think looks, think beauty, think art, think romance in that area. So there's some kind of intense, surprising energy going on for that particular full moon. So we do have the Sabian symbol, which is the king of the fairies. The king of the fairies. Oh, right. I'm kind of reading my writing and I'm like, what did I write? The king of the fairies over his domain. So it's like, it has very fae energy, this particular full moon. So if you are working with fairy energy, this is a great time to do it. So sorry, my writing's kind of not always the best. All right, so after the full moon, we do have the sun and Mercury both moving into the sign of Gemini on Tuesday, May 21st. So Sun in Gemini makes us more focused on communication, but it also makes us like a little more scattered, like our energies are kind of all over the place. So it's not a good time to focus on one particular thing. It's good to have lots of little goals and get things done and do lots of things. It's very quick kind of energy during the solar month of Gemini. So back to our sun cards here. So sun in Gemini is all about versatility. So be flexible. May 21st to about June 21st. It's not about sort of, we can make plans, but don't be afraid to adjust them. Don't be afraid to do some new things as well. It's a very optimistic, light kind of energy during the month of Gemini. So it is a good time to kind of go visiting, travel a little bit, do some road trips, have some fun, learn some things. It's a good, positive, upbeat energy. Mercury is very happy in the sign of Gemini because he rules Gemini. So he's happiest here. He's all about communication here. Here we have excitement as the keyword for Mercury in Gemini. So lots of communication. May 21st, you'll feel the energy pick up out of, slower moving Taurus, and things really get quick and lots of communication going on at that particular time. Now, just so you know, with the larger planets, we do have, Jupiter's in retrograde for the whole month. So, things may be moving a little slower if we're looking at expanding our lives or doing something new or taking on a new challenge. It doesn't mean they won't happen, but it just means like they're not moving maybe as fast as we'd like. Saturn is in retrograde the whole month as well. So it's all about making sure that we're setting up structures, that we're re-looking at structures we have in our life to make sure that they're working for us. He does make a conjunction with the South Node on May 20th. So expect old issues, an old issue to come up at this time. Maybe some buttons are going to get pushed, or something that was part of our lives may leave at that particular point. So just watch for that. And then we have Pluto as well in retrograde for the whole month. We do have Lilith, just who's she's like a minor sort of like aspect, sort of point in a chart, moving on May 3rd into the sign of Pisces. So she's all about kind of like where we're rebellious. So we might become a little more spiritually rebellious and try some new things in the month of May. So let me know what you think of this new Astro Chat thing. If you like it, if you like the quick overview of kind of the energies for the month, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Questions, comments in the links below. I, try to get back to everybody that comments. And thank you so much for watching. And as always, peace and love and rock.